Outlander characters based on real historical figures. One of my personal favorites is Le Comte Saint-Germain. Let's start out with what we know about the Comte from the series and also from the books. Let's meet the Comte in Book 2 and Outlander Season 2 in Paris. One of the members of his crew is sick and gets diagnosed by Claire to have measles. As a consequence of this diagnosis, the dock master decides that the Comte's boat and all of the goods that are on board need to be burned in order to stop the spread and get rid of the infected goods. Obviously, the Comte is not happy about this, and he immediately blames Claire. This is where we see his hatred for her begin. We see him doing a lot of shady things in Paris, mostly scheming and reflecting very power-hungry ways. But we also know that he is practicing alchemy and doing witchcraft, and attempts to poison and kill a pregnant Claire. Now, it's important to note that during this point in the show, we are hearing Claire referred to as Madame Blanche, or a white witch. While this was done as an effort to protect Claire and keep her safe, it ends up putting her in a very uncompromising way with the king. As we saw in Season 2, after the Comte and Master Raymond are brought before the king for suspected witchcraft, Claire feigns being a psychic and declares Master Raymond innocent and the Comte guilty. He then drinks the poison and passes away. Seemingly, this is the end of him in the Outlander universe, until you read A Space Between novella. It is revealed in this novella that the Comte Saint-Germain is still alive, he is a time traveler, and that he is desperately searching for Master Raymond and is still big mad about Claire, by the way. We also learn that he is impregnating women all throughout time in order to create anchors for himself so that he can travel forward and backwards, basically making himself immortal. Even find out that he impregnated Gallus, but that's a story for another day. In this novella, he is also referring to himself by the name of Paul Rakowski. And bear with me because this is where it all ties in. When I heard him going by this name, I was immediately reminded of this novella, A Leaf on the Winds of All Hallows. In this novella, we are following the story of Roger's father and how he does time travel, and we learn that Frank is the one who sent them on this mission, and they are doing undercover spy work. More significantly, there is another pilot that was working with Roger's father who went by the name of Paul Rakowski. When I read this, I immediately was reminded of the Comte Saint-Germain going by this name, and that's when my research brain started taking over, and that's when I discovered the real-life Comte Saint-Germain. In my research, I discovered a few things. First, that Diana had said the Paul Rakowski in A Leaf of the Winds of All Hallows was not the Comte Saint-Germain, but it was in fact a relative of his. Second, I discovered that the Comte Saint-Germain is an actual real historical figure who had a father that went by the last name Rakowski. This started me on a path of wanting to discover everything I could about the real-life Comte Saint-Germain so that I could see if Outlander's Comte Saint-Germain would have the same storyline, so to say. So here's what I've learned. The real Comte Saint-Germain actually did exist in the same timeline as the fictional Comte Saint-Germain. However, it was rumored that at that time period, he was already 500 years old. Turns out this man was an alchemist, a scientist, and possibly a vampire. Now, the alchemy portion certainly rings true with the Comte Saint-Germain being accused of witchcraft in Paris. The figure Comte Saint-Germain is said to age very slowly, if at all, and we learn in the novellas that the Comte Saint-Germain also does not really appear to be aging. Nothing with regards to their true identity or true origin is ever documented in both cases, and it is theorized that their origin is somewhat supernatural. Also heavily theorized all throughout history that the real Comte Saint-Germain was a time traveler. This is rumored because many years after his death, he is seen apparently not to have aged and is completely recognizable, like the Comte Saint-Germain in the Space Between novella. Here's where things get very interesting and I think leads to the ending for Comte Saint-Germain in the books. Both the historical figure and the fictional character possess the secrets of alchemy. It would appear that they have the ability to transmute metals and create an elixir of life. In his later years of life, in around 1779, the historical figure Comte Saint-Germain was rumored to be involved in a Bavarian Illuminati society. It is rumored that he was using his alchemy skills in showing people his large gemstone collection. He ended up creating a laboratory for experiments in alchemy, one of which was creating powerful gemstones. He is on record saying that they are the key to immortality, and that is where the rumors of him becoming a vampire stem from. This makes me wonder, is the Comte Saint-Germain in Outlander's obsession with gemstones and traveling forward leading into this? Is his entire goal using alchemy to take gemstones, make them powerful, and in an effort to travel forward, he is basically making himself immortal? The similarities are so strong that I'm actually excited to see if Diana is going to take this character in the same direction, and what relevance, if any, Fergus being his son has to do with that.